Namaskar, dear devotees and friends. This Wednesday, we'll be studying the Panchama Veda, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the Master's training of his disciple. That is the chapter we are reading. And our English, the Gospel page 903, and Bengali 978. Let us begin with this stotra. Tabo kathamritam tapta jivanam kavi virilitam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam sri madatatam bhubi grinanti e bhurida janaha. As usual, all devotees, they have assembled, and Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is talking with them. Mainly, the discussion is going on with the Dr. Sharkar. The Dr. Sharkar, he's, the modern person, and he has studied the science and all that. Obviously, he was not immediately agreeing. So, different type of opinions he is giving. Now, Dr. Sharkar, he is mentioning about Lord Buddha. But he is rich. Let me interpret. You have said something. Buddha once ate pork and as a result had colic. To get rid of the pain, he would take opium and thus become unconscious. Do you know the meaning of nirvana and such stuff? Buddha would become stupefied after eating opium. He would have no consciousness of the outer world. This is what they call nirvana. All laughed to hear the noble interpretation of nirvana. The conversation went on. Now, by his comment, we can understand how he used to look after the nirvana, the mukti, Lord Buddha, and all that. So that was the mentality or temperament of intellectual condition of the then educated people, educated society. But Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he had to come, the Bhagavan, the God himself, to reestablish the dharma. So we can understand how difficult it was. So he is continuing. He's not giving any answer to doctor's comments. Everybody laughed and he too. And then he is mentioning to Shyam, there is no harm in your leading the life of a householder. But do your duties in an unselfish spirit, fixing your mind on the lotus feet of God. You must have noticed that a man with a carbuncle on his back speaks to others in his usual way. Perhaps he attained to his daily duties also, but his mind is always on the carbuncle. It is like that. Now, friends, this is a very, very important advice of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. The majority of our people, majority of us in the society we live, householder's life. Now, who is a householder? Occupying a house, and either alone or as a head of the household, and taking all responsibilities as a householder. This is important. Not living in the house alone, but taking the responsibilities. So when a person is taking the responsibility, then what happens? Obviously, he has to think about the money. He has to earn money and he has to spend accordingly with all calculation. Secondly, different type of social rules and laws are there. He has to go accordingly. He has the responsibility of a father or a husband or a brother or a son. So he has to maintain those things too. all these things are there at the same time. He is trying to realize God. So that is very, very important. Those who have already left the hearth and home and then concentrating on God, trying to realize God, of course, that is their only option. What else? That's why Ma Sharadamani Devi, when someone wrote, Ma, I am doing lot of japa, but I have not yet realized the Brahman or the God. The mother wrote back to him that you have left your all responsibilities. Now you're all alone there. What else you will do instead of taking this? So do that. Take the name of God. That is your duty. And when the God will come and bless you, that is up to him. So your responsibility only this. There are many stories are also there. Once the Narada, he was boasting to Bhagavan that I am your only devotee who is constantly remembering you. So then Bhagavan said, yeah, I think so, but can you please go and see, there is a devotee of mine on such and such place, observe him and come and report to me. He went and he saw that man is having lot of responsibilities, and obviously after finishing all the duties, at the time to going to bed, then only he is taking the name of God, praying to God and going to sleep. He came back and then laughed a lot and said, now you call him a devotee? He only takes your name once, and that too when he is going to bed. Instead of saying anything, the Lord, as the story goes, gave him a pitcher full of oil and said, don't spill even a drop. Go and come back to me after rounding that particular place. The Narada did that. Again he said, not a single drop spilled from here. So that is okay. But how many times did you remember my name? Narada, how it is possible? Because all my attention was on that oil. And it is full brim, and you said that you should not spill. I had to pay complete attention on that. Giving that example, the Lord said, look at that person. He is also just like that. He is taking all care, everything, all responsibility. Even then he can have some time to remember me, at least before going to bed. How can you say that you are, who is having no work? You are just having the food, everything from supply from me. And then, so that why he says like this. The Grihastha Ashrama is also known as Jyeshtha Ashrama. But somehow, I do not know, I may be wrong, but there is an opinion, many people they say, Lord Buddha's movement weakened that ashrama. It was 2,500 years before when the Lord Buddha came, and that movement weakened the Samsara ashrama because Lord Buddha, of course, he said the truth. But for whom? That he couldn't understand. He said that everything is temporary, and obviously one should not be in the household, one should come back to come to the monastic life. That was a very wrong decision. The hundreds and thousands, they left the hearth and home and joined and became, and they were following in thousands. Some of the stories are there. The Buddha is walking and he was followed by thousands of monks and nuns. And that was really, really wrong. Householders should be strong, and then only everything should be all right. In the Indian system, the ashrama system, it says the first is brahmacharya, then the garhastha, then vanaprastha, and finally sannyasa ashrama. This second is the garhastha ashrama. Garhastha means householder's life. This householder's life is very important because On it depends everything. The householder, he is giving his knowledge and experience for the development of the society. He is a teacher, he is a doctor, an engineer, and in almost everywhere, everything the human society is going on, householders are there. And he is supporting the brahmacharis, their students, their children maybe, but they are supporting that ashrama. But they are not earning. Now they are learning, so obviously who is supporting them? From these householders. Sometimes their taxes, sometimes directly they are helping their own children. And then retired people. Again, the same thing is the householders who are helping them. The retired old father and mother, grandfather, grandmother. Nowadays some social, the securities are there. But in olden days, it was nothing like that. If you can't earn, you are not earning. So somebody has to support. And that's why this was the depending on the children, particularly the sons. So they were helping the parents. So the first is our brahmacharya ashrama, supported by the grihastha. Then third, the retired ashrama, Vanaprasthi, supported by the grihastha. And then fourth is sannyasa. Again, these people, when they are surviving, they need food, they need shelter, they need clothing, they need medicine, they need different support. But they are not earning. They are completely dedicated to realize God, but they are human beings. All human needs, basic needs. So who will fulfill? Again, the grihastha. The grihastha is standing like a banyan tree and giving the shade to each and every one, the other ashramites. So this is the reason Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, so he has come to establish dharma, sthapakaya cha dharmasya. So what he is doing, first and foremost, he is making this particular ashrama strong. But at the same time, he knew the truth. As the Buddha knew the truth. Buddha realized that truth. And what is that truth? This is completely temporary. And this world, with all these different things, cannot give you permanent happiness. And human being is running after the happiness. This is a great mistake, but at the same time, that is exactly what is happening before us. So what is dharma? Understanding that I cannot get permanent happiness. Well, a little bit of happiness, that is there. And along with that comes the suffering too. If you love some particular dish and particular food and you eat regularly and so much, you will suffer again. So happiness is there, and it is also followed by the suffering. You will never get permanent happiness from the worldly objects, that is very clear. The Buddha also knew, and all the religious leaders like Shankaracharya and others, they said that. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, of course. So how he is guiding? Look at it. He is telling there is no harm in your leading the life of a householder. But, then he said, but, do your duties in an unselfish spirit, fixing your mind on the lotus feet of God. This is the teaching. The householder's life is not the summum bonum. That is not the ultimate of human life. That cannot be. Though they are supporting the other three ashramas, the great responsibility they are taking, but at the same time, from the point of view of suffering, that is the cause of suffering. The Lord Buddha declared that, and then he never turned back, and he said, inspired all people, and obviously those who were not ready, just because of the social, sometimes people that do something, even they don't understand and don't like also, but under pressure of the society, they like to follow that. What to do, all people are doing, so I also do. But it is not like that. Understanding it very clearly. This world is temporary. It cannot give you permanent happiness. To get the permanent happiness is the goal. And that is called God realization. How we can do it? Not by leaving your responsibility, but by living as a householder with some very special technique. Or what is a technique? Don't get attached to this. That's why Bhagavan simply says, do your duties in an unselfish spirit. Oh, this is my family, I have to do it and I must do it. And that is wrong. Before you, this family was there. After you, the family will be there. So only you are thinking that this is me, I must do that. No, not like that. Whatever the responsibility comes before you, you do that. And constantly remember God. God, you are the reality. You are the existence. You are the permanent. And you are the source of joy and happiness. So remember God. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is giving a beautiful example for the householders. And he is mentioning, live in the world like an immoral woman. This is an example he is giving. That she is living, but at the same time her mind is with the paramour. But that is the example why he is giving like that. The householders will know about it. The love, that is with someone else. But in person, she is somewhere else. So he is giving that example. The doctor said, I don't have any experience like that. He is always there to comment on that, and we can understand the how the Sri Ramakrishna was feeling. He was taking it very, just like the young people they do, he was commenting like that. Though she perform her household duties, her mind is fixed on her sweetheart. And to the doctor, do you understand that? He knew the doctor will comment. So the doctor said, and never having had such an experience myself, how can I understand? So the doctor is saying like that. Sri Ramakrishna, he is giving an excellent example. This lady, she is living in the household, but her mind is somewhere else. And not only this, many of us, when we are reading something but understanding something else. Why? Because our mind is not there. Or sometimes we are typing, or sometimes we are writing, we miss that sometimes making a mistake. Why? Mind is not there. The mind is most important. I was reading in the newspaper, the one doctor after the operation, he left that some gloves or something he was wearing, he, I think, took it out and kept inside the body of the patient and then stitched that. Then afterwards, patient was in great pain, came back again. Then they took that x-ray and found, oh my God, the whole cloth is over there. So it is doctor inadvertently, not that intentionally, and through the mind. When he was operating, he knew that I should do that. Immediately after that, even for a fraction of a second, maybe he was not mindful. So that is the thing. Mind went somewhere else. That was more interesting for the doctor than to the patient. That it should not be. The doctors are not just a profession. It is a sadhana. As a monk his mind should not go to other places. That is his sadhana. Similarly, a doctor, particularly the surgeons, when operating, must be very, very careful. The doctors prescribing the medicine must be very, very careful. Otherwise what? maybe we'll be not caught by the law or nothing happen, but because of your bad karma phala, because of your karma, somebody else died or suffered. You have to suffer afterwards. And that is the reason that Sri Ramakrishna is telling that you have your mind should be focused. A householder, he is focusing on all the duties. When we look at the life of Sri Ramachandra, he is doing everything, but at the same time, he is not doing anything. If you notice in the Ramachandra's life, he was so much responsible for his family, but at the same time, he was not. If you read the conversation between Sri Ramachandra and Bharata, in the Ramayana it is there, the Rama was taking care of the country. He knew the Bharata is also capable. Even then, as an elder brother, he wanted to know whether Bharata is taking the proper step or not, because it is the king who can build the kingdom, empire, or you can ruin the whole thing. And in the history that proves, some king comes, he builds up a huge empire, and then again he will break the whole thing. But this is the way one must be always attentive. Now, what is the ultimate goal of human life? Permanent happiness. And what is the permanent happiness? God realization, or knowing the Brahman, or knowing the Atman. Different terminologies they use. Knowing the Brahman means what? All-pervading consciousness. And there the small thing is not there. Me and mine is not there. That breaks and it goes on to everything. And how you can prepare that? By disassociating yourself from the things that you are performing. How? I am not performing. This is the God who is working through me. If I am a great singer and the people are appreciating me, I must, after that, when people are appreciating, when I am also accepting that appreciation by bowing down, at the same time, I should remember to God, pray to God, because you gave me this voice. It could break. I could falter. I could make mistake. But everything went on very well. So all people appreciating, and those people are nothing but you. Oh God, I am happy that you liked my song. Thinking only. By that way, I am offering all the credit at the feet of God. I am disassociated. And sometimes, suddenly, somewhere, I made a mistake. People criticize. Next day, everywhere, all the media criticizing. Then also, the God, you wanted me to be humble. That's why you make me to make some mistake. So you want me to be humble. They are not insulting me. I don't mind about what they are saying. But I know I made some mistake somewhere. So you wanted me to be humble. So you are giving me this caution. And I have understood it. I will do it. So how you are rectifying? That's why Ma Sharadamani Devi said, don't find fault with others. What is it natural that we always find fault? He is not liking me, she is not liking me, they are complaining against me, they are making my life problematic. We go on pointing out finger to others. But the mother said, if you want peace, now peace is the goal, happiness is the goal, ultimate happiness. And what is that? Don't find fault with others. Find fault with yourself. Why? You can rectify yourself. And these things, it will all go. Whether the appreciation or criticism, nothing is permanent. Then what will happen? In that process, I am making my mind purified. And how I am purifying? Disassociating from the actions and reactions of all these worldly things. So my mind becomes tranquil. And in the tranquil mind, reflection of my own self, my Atman, will be there. It is always there. Always there. Not that I have to go and find it out. It is always there. Only thing, when I make my mind tranquil, automatically it will reveal. I don't know whether you people have noticed some we call ritual, we can say. After the Durga Puja, then the ritual is they will place a big tumbler, a container full of water, clean water. Then the pujari will come and place the chakra inside the water. Chakra, as because the Durga Puja is a Shakti Puja, and they go with the chakra as a symbol, then they will put that as a metal thing. It will go under the water, and then they will look at the chakra, and what they will see? Reflection of the goddess. The face of the goddess in that water. And water is formless. So the goddess with the form, whom I have worshipped now, is becoming formless again. So they look at that water. That is the last ritual. After worshipping, they say, go back to your own abode. This is beautiful Hinduism. We don't understand this, and we think to copy others, follow others. Why? You are already on the top of the world. Where you are going to search? Only thing you have to understand. We are searching peace in different lives. Particularly we go to the ashramas, and then some people with the beautiful dress, and then going on talking, and we go and get what we are gaining from there. Unless and until you understand what you should do. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna giving so much of stress on this. And afterwards he said, the Shyam, sir, what do you think of Theosophy? Another question is coming. You know, in those days, there was a time, it is a 17th, 18th century, it was a turmoil was going on in India, and it is a society which grew up for so many thousands of years. It is not hundred, thousands of years. So obviously, the Westerners, they had to say that yes, from at least 6,000 years before, this Vedic life was there, at least 6,000 years before Jesus Christ. That means now 8,000 years. Think of it. You know, where were the other societies? India is a blessed land because the water, because of the weather, and from the north, from the south, it is well protected. And that is the reason those people, fortunately, instead of enjoying the physical joy, they concentrated to develop the intellectual, moral, and spiritual life. And they developed the spiritual life in the highest form and said each and everything is nothing but consciousness. It's a very scientific way they discovered. That's why there is no creator. This Sanatana Dharma, or the Hindu Dharma, now the popular name, or Swami Vivekananda said Vedika Dharma, because it is based on the Veda. Whatever may be, this particular religion is based on examination, direct realization, and then following that. It was there. Then naturally, because of the geographical and it goes on changing, the political changes started coming. The people from outside, they started coming, pouring over there because of the wealth. So they came, sometimes they looted and went back sometime. Some of them, they stayed back, captured that land, started ruling over there. Instead of learning the good things from those, of course, it is an ego that plays. We have vanquished you. We have conquered over. So obviously, why should we learn from you? You should learn from us. By that way, those who came, they were not at all educated or cultured. They were good soldiers. They were good, ruthless killers. But they were not cultured that way. And few of them, they started learning. And afterwards, another group came from the Europe. They wanted to break it. So this is the whole history. Again, after the independence, the new India is coming up with a great confusion because of the poverty, because of the population, because of the lack of leadership. The thousands of years we never was leading the society. So naturally, we are also learning. So this is a process going on. But what was there in India? This. We had to save the Sanatana Dharma. You know, there are different type of societies came up. Why? To protect the Sanatana Dharma. To protect. But they were protecting in a different way. Lord Buddha, he also wanted to protect the Sanatana Dharma. But in his method, there was one or two flaws. So that is the reason the main population of the Hindus, the Sanatanis, they didn't accept him. Why? First and foremost, he denied the Vedas. Vedas are the basis. Vedas are the direct experience of the ultimate reality. There are many other things are there, but at the same time, that's called Upanishad. The knowledge that takes you directly to that truth. Upa, nikate, closeness. So that Upanishads, he denied that. And what he did, he said, see, you must practice some morality. Of course, at that time, morality went very low. So as a reformer, he said, these are the 8 steps, Ashtanga Marga. These are the 8 steps you must practice. Of course, it is very, very good. He said the truth. What is the truth? This world that you see is full of misery. No doubt about it. But to whom? That is the question. And who can follow those things? Each and everyone? No. You have to give the option. So when the educations are there, some children, they are very sharp. For them it is okay. But there are some slow learners. You cannot simply brush them aside. Hey, go away. You cannot learn. No. You have to develop some method for the slow learners. They will learn. But it may take some time because of their mental growth. So that is called human society. What the spiritual leaders should understand and should do? Understanding the society. Oh, this is the condition. I must slowly take them to the truth. Some will be able to do that. Many others, for them, this is the religion. But Buddha didn't do that, though he had a long time. He lived up to 80 years. So, whatever it may be, it is not a criticism, it is just observation. And afterwards, he was 500 years Jesus. So obviously, we can understand what was the human society. That is the time the Hindu society was so spiritually uplifted. The Lord Buddha came, wanted to rectify, but the process made some mistake. And some people came, the followers, they took that out, took him completely separated. It's another path it has become, whatever. So, but Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, in the modern time, is 1836, he was born, and he was trying to bring back the life into that same Sanatana Dharma. And how he did? Here we find he was strengthening the householders because their number is more. If they become moral, if they become spiritual just by performing everything without being attached to that, look at it. The whole society is transforming. A little group of people, the sannyasins or the nuns, how many it will be? But if majority of the people, they understand this, the whole society will be going back to Satya Yuga. The Satya Yuga, means the time of happiness. They also used to eat, they also used to earn, they also used to sleep. All these things that we are doing, they used to do that. But why there was no conflict? Because they understood we should not take this so seriously, and we'll never ever support anything that is wrong, that is bad. When everyone is doing the same way, everything will be perfect. That is called Satya Yuga. So here Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna bringing back the Satya Yuga, and he is strengthening. But in the meantime, some groups of people, they also tried to do in their own way to save the Sanatana Dharma. How? You know that Brahma Samaj, Prarthana Samaj, Arya Samaj, and Theosophical society also grew up over there. This Theosophical society, it is in 1875 it was formed, and it was formed by the Russian lady Helena Blavatsky and an American gentleman, Henry Still Olcott. Henry Still Olcott. So 1875, you can imagine, 1836 Ramakrishna, and that is the time when all the Brahma Samaj and all those things are there. Brahma Samaj, of course, it was, and the little earlier it was formed, and different type of Brahma Samaj, because some people, the leaders, they were thinking we should lead in this way, this should be the ideology, this should be the process. Then some people said, no, it is not like that. So that first Brahma Samaj, then Sadharan Brahma Samaj, then Nava Brahma Samaj, they were breaking. But what they are trying to do, we should practice Sanatana Dharma in our own way. And what is the own way? There should not be any image of gods and goddesses. But what the Theosophy was doing, you know, the Alcott, Swami Vivekananda met him. He was the only American at that time in India. And people were not having any idea about America. When they came to know, they were there at that time in the southern part of India, in Madras. There, this Mr. Olcott was there, Swamiji met, but he was not at all happy, because Olcott told, you have to convert yourself into Theosophist. And if you go and represent the Theosophy over there, then only I will support you, and tell my friends over there in America to support you. Swamiji said, no, I have come to know about America, that's all. But anyway, that is a different story. And these two, they did. And what actually they were doing, they are believing that the God realization is possible through spiritual ecstasy, then intuition, and the special individual relation with the Mahatmas. So Mahatma, this theory was there. They believed that in the Himalaya, a lot of Mahatmas are there. If you pray, one Mahatma will come, they can fly, and they can transport from one place to another place. So lot of mystical thing entered into their mind, and the then educated and high society people, they started following this Theosophical society. Though not very strong, but they were there, some influence was there. The Madame Blavatsky, she used to give a lot of lectures in those days. A lady speaking about the religion, she was very popular in those days. So there's a mysticism was there. And the Theosophy, as I was searching, I found it came from a Greek word. Theos means God, and Sophia means wisdom. The wisdom of God, that is the Theosophy. The goal of Theosophy is very good. The goal is three. They said universal brotherhood without any caste, creed, culture, or sex. All are same. That was a unique approach, and particularly in the then Indian society. It was a very revolutionary approach. And then comparative study of religions, that is also there. They inspired the educated people to understand other religions also. And thirdly, investigate the law of nature. So what is nature and all that? These three was their goal. So they were doing that. One of our direct disciples of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and afterwards he became famous as Swami Shivananda, he was doing this comparative study. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna once they noticed, and they, what you are doing? I am comparing different religions. Then he said, you need not to do it now. Rather, practice what I say. Because that is the time he came to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He was his student. And Sri Ramakrishna said, first you know your own self. So this is the time to practice the truth. So do that. Then afterwards you can understand all others. This is the Theosophy. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself afterwards, this Theosophical group, slowly they became weak, and then afterwards there was nothing left. Their motto was, there is no religion higher than the truth. But what is the truth? That they were not very much clear about. So this is what was going on. The one gentleman came, and we can understand, as because that was a burning issue in that society. So he is asking, sir, what do you think of Theosophy? The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. The long and the short of the matter is that those who go about making disciples belong to a very inferior level. So also do those who want occult powers or walk over the Ganges and to report what a person says in a far-off country and so on. It is very hard for such people to have pure love for God. Sri Ramakrishna is very clear about it. Those who always think about the occult power, they will never be able to generate the love for God because they have a desire. What is the desire? Some power which others are not having. So I can utilize that power, like studying the mind of others. Of course, Socratics, they, a scientific way they do, but these people having the occult power, when they are talking with people or reading the forehead or reading the palm, and all these things are there. But those who are having this, they will never ever have the love for God. I know a one brahmachari, now he is a monk, so he knew the palm reading and also the forehead reading to tell the future and all that. Then one day I caught hold of him, hey, can you tell me what is going to happen to me? I said, Swamiji, I gave the word to my guru that I am not going to practice it anymore. So that is Ramakrishna mission. When they came to know about him, they said, you can join as a brahmachari, but you have to take the oath that you are not going to practice all those. Ramakrishna mission is very, very pure in that way. So developing the humankind first thing, and then it is becoming the divine. But Swami Vivekananda said, you were all animals. Chile poshu, in Bengali he said. Chile poshu. You are like the animals, very selfish. Only I should live. And I noticed in the morning when you give some food to the squirrels, another squirrel coming is his brother, but he won't allow. Oh, he alone will eat. And that fellow, he will go on eating, even after eating, when you are satisfied, leave it, he won't. So that is another thing. That is all selfishness. And Chile poshu, hoyacho mano. Now you have become human, you are considerate for others, helping others. Devata hoite hoibe. That is the point. We have, by sheer our past karma and the blessings of the guru and our parents, we have become human. We can feel for others. We can understand others. We help others. So that is a great human quality. Now that is the basis on which we will make our counsels so that we can reach the God. That is the main thing. And what is going to happen if we can walk on the water? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's stories, those who have read, and you will find that two brothers, one brother went for meditation and another, he was cultivating and earning money to support the family. Then that brother came back after 12 long years and met these young brothers and said, hey, still you are tilting this land? I can walk on the water. I have developed that. Is it? Show me. So both the brothers went by the riverside, and the young brother, the farmer, he hired a boat and started rowing, and then other one was walking. Both of them reached at the same time the other shore. Then this one told, see, I paid only 4 annas, 1/4 of a rupee. That 4 annas I have given to this boatman, and I am here. And look at you, walking on the water in this scorching sun. And is that the worth after 12 long years of meditation? So friends, we have to be careful. Those who are thinking, I saw this, I saw that, and so great, so don't think in that way. That is nothing. Whenever you are trying to purify your mind, the nature, it is obvious, it will come. Because it is just, our mind is so much turbulent, we can't see. The moment it becomes little quiet, different type of jewelries, the wealth that is coming up. It is natural. But if you pay attention to that, you will lose everything. So Sri Ramakrishna is a very strong term. He said, don't go for those, the Theosophy, the Shama. But the Theosophists have been trying to re-establish the Hindu religion. Sri Ramakrishna, I don't know much about them. The Sham, the gentleman going on, you can learn from Theosophy where the soul goes after death. He is asking Sri Ramakrishna that you can learn from those people after death where the soul goes, because they always discuss about that. Whether to the lunar sphere or the stellar sphere or some other region. There is the people that think in that way. It is in the Bhagavata, it is in other Upanishads also, that Chandogya Upanishad also says like that. Then after the death, what happens? And they say in Uddhava Gita, it is also there, those who are thinking that they will get happiness in this world, and they are always associated with their forefathers and the family, after the death, they follow a path which is dark. The Dhumra Marga. In Sanskrit, they say Dhumra Marga. And they follow that path and they go to a place where all their ancestors are there. And what they will think about? Oh, now the property, the values are increasing. We should have purchased extra land. Now that the bank interest rate is falling, we should have purchased some gold instead of... So that type of... They will discuss there also, same thing. What else? They do only that. So they will discuss in that way and about many other things which is related with the world. But if you are not attached with this, whatever I have done my duties. As a son, I have done my duties to my parents. As a student, I have done my duty by learning. And as a responsible citizen, I have done my duty by performing the duties whatever was given to me. So whatever way, in my life, whatever responsibility came, I performed that perfectly. And that is the way I have earned. And some of my desires, like visiting some good places, meeting some people, enjoying some food, that I have done. Now, afterwards what? Obviously, you will get a good result. What is the good result? You are not that way attached to all those. So you will go in a life after the death through a lighted path to Devaloka. Why it is Devaloka? Not that gods are there, but good people are there. That they call it Deva. Deva means illumined. So you will go to the illumined people, the soul, and there all people will be talking about the higher things, higher way of life. And naturally, you like that, you will also enjoy that. So they say after those who are attached to the karma, they go to this lower loka and they go to the higher loka. And that was the main object they used to discuss and teach people in the Theosophy. And this gentleman, the Sham, he is asking Sri Ramakrishna to learn from them. And you can learn from the Theosophy where the soul goes after death, whether to the lunar, etc. Sri Ramakrishna. That may be. But let me tell you my own attitude. Once a man asked Hanuman, see, this is what Sri Ramakrishna said, what day of the lunar fortnight is it? Hanumana replied, I know nothing about the day of the week, the day of the lunar fortnight, the position of the stars in the sky, or any such thing. On Rama alone I meditate. That is my attitude too. On Sri Rama I meditate. Whether it is a good day or it is a bad day, and they never care. In that Uddhava Gita also, when I was reading, I found the same thing they said. Those who are constantly meditating on the Bhagavata, those who are constantly meditating on God, what do they care about? The pure place, the pure timing, they don't care about that. There's a beautiful song also in Bengali, Gaya Ganga Prabhashadi, Kashi Kanchi Keba Chai, Kali 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 Bole, Ajapa Jodi Purai. Now, I am taking the breath, inhaling and exhaling, and that at the same time I am going on taking the name Ma Kali, Ma Kali, Ma Kali, and when that will end, I will go to Ma Kali. What do I care about the holy place like the Kashi and Kanchi? Kanchi, the southern tip of the India. There's a very pure place. So this is I don't care about that, whether I'm in a pure place or not. What is purity? Purity means when I am completely detached from the worldly things. I'm not thinking of anything worldly. So I am only thinking of Ma Kali. My name, my mother's name is constantly in my mind. I don't see anything else, or Sri Rama, not anything else. So that is the purity. That should be the attitude of a spiritual person. And what he will get? Only happiness, only joy. And he will never find fault with others. He will see everything is nothing but Sri Rama in different forms. There is a beautiful story in Belur Math early days when Swami Brahmananda ji was the president. Now, all of them, they took some position and they were living, but their life was completely dedicated to God. And particularly Brahmananda ji, 24 hours he used to in a meditative mood. That was very, very special. And one day, the then manager of the Belur Math, manager means used to look after the food, look after the maintenance. So many new boys are joining. So one day he came and told Raja means they were friends, so he called in that way. Raja, you must scold these new recruits, those who are coming. They're not listening. So all the systems that we have made, the discipline that they should supposed to follow, they are not. You must scold them. Early morning you have to get up. Then you have to go and bathe in the Ganga. Then you must come before 4 o'clock to the temple and meditate minimum 2 hours over there. Then do this, do that. Sometimes they can't do so. So Premananda Ji Maharaj, he was a great soul, and the full of love. That's why his name was Premananda. He asked, Raja Maharaj turned and looked to those boys. He said, Dada means elder brother. Yeah, as by age maybe he was elder. Dada, I don't see any boys over there. What do you say? They're all standing before you. I called them so that you can say something to them. And the Raja Maharaj said, but I see only Sri Ramakrishna standing. All of them are nothing but Sri Ramakrishna. Do you think I can scold my master? How it is possible? He couldn't see any other individual but Sri Ramakrishna. And that is called Brahma Drishti. After the realization of the Brahman, they see only Brahman. They see only God and nothing else. So one of my sannyasa guru, Swami Gambhiranandaji, he went to that Himalaya, the very famous, the holy place, Amarnath in Kashmir. And Amarnath, that is a Shiva. But the Shiva, the statue is, the linga is made of snow. But it's very unique. But in nature it is there. The people, they go, they worship. And afterwards, when it is snowing, that all them covered. He went, he saw, and he was standing there in a trembling and going on uttering Prabhu, 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 Prabhu. So other Swamis, they noticed it. Why he is telling Prabhu? Shiva, Shiva, you are supposed to say. But when they came back in the tent, they came back to the Panchatarani. Then in the tent, the one of another senior Swami, he went to him and asked, Maharaj, what have you seen there? Why you are telling Prabhu? We usually tell Prabhu to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, but that was Shiva. Then he turned and said, you saw Shiva? I saw only Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna standing over there. So this is called Brahma Drishti. If you are meditating on a particular God and then realizing God, you see nothing but the same God everywhere. This Brahma Drishti, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, I don't bother about all those things. I only meditate like the Hanumana, and I say, like Hanumana, what is the date, what is the holy place, what is the tithi? I don't know. I only know Sri Rama. So this is the way the conversation was going on. Then the Sama told, the Theosophists believe in the existence of Mahatmas. Do you believe in them too? Then Sri Ramakrishna, if you believe in my words, I say yes. This is Sri Ramakrishna. He is not criticizing the Theosophist. But what is truth is truth. He will never hesitate to accept that. When the Theosophists believe that there are Mahatmas, Mahatmas means the great soul, realized souls, in India, in different parts of India, Sri Ramakrishna said, if you believe me, yes. Thank you, brothers. We will continue. Thank you, devotees. We will continue it afterwards again, next Wednesday.
So the first question is from Samir Kumar De. He's asking, how can one find peace when family dispute plays a big major role to disturb my tranquility?
This is a very, very practical question, Shamir Babu. But you know that at the same time, if you remember, these things are very, very temporary. The family disturbances are there, and after some time it will also go away after a few years. Then slowly, people will be going away. Things will be completely different. I have seen a house which was full with so many people, the brothers and sisters and uncles and this uncle, that uncle. So there was no place. So all rooms were full, and they used to sometimes quarrel that this part of the room or this is the room or belongs to me, and the elder brother, next brother, these 2 rooms are mine, that 2 rooms are mine. Now this time I saw there is no one. only one old lady. All the children, they have gone out different places, and only one lady, she's, what I am going to do with this, such a huge building. And now they're all afraid about that building. So what to do? Children are not interested to go and live in that house. It happens. So remember this and think that it is okay. It will be all right. But it is really, really difficult at that moment to keep the mind calm. But this, if you think, this shall also pass. THIS, shall also pass. It will also go. The troubled time has come, difficult time has come, this also will go away. So just wait and pray and do what is necessary. That will give you the tranquility and peace. Thank you.
Second question is from a user. His name is SM. He's saying, Thakur said pray not to have any new karma and that current karma will get reduced. But if Ma wishes for new karma, then you should perform it. How to know if the new karma is Ma's wish or my own desire?
He never said like that. I don't know where you got it. But mainly what Sri Ramakrishna is telling, whatever karma that we do, whatever responsibility that we perform, do it, perform it in a detached way, that much. The new karma, old karma, don't bother about that. Detached way, whatever you are doing, you are a teacher, you go and you teach and very sincerely you are teaching, and then whatever all around things are happening, that's also you are managing. And in a Hindi, there's the beautiful couplet is there. They say, Haji, Haji karte rahiyo, baitha apna tham. So I know what is right. So you, and then some people will come and suggest, why don't you do in this way? Why don't you do in that way? Oh, yes, you are correct, you are correct. But you know what is correct and you will do that only. By that way, that karma phala will be reduced. And when you are performing, and at the best way it is possible for you, and then you say mentally, in a place where nobody is there, oh Lord, according to my capacity, I have performed this work. Maybe some people could do it much better way, but according to my capacity I have done, please accept it. You will find all your karma phalas will go away and Sri Ramakrishna's blessing will be there. Thank you.
Third question is from a YouTube user KAI. He's saying, when Swamiji asked each of us to be original, does that mean we are free to explore and study practices from other orders of Hinduism too, if that suits our capacity and purpose?
Sure, that's you are very correct. They're very correct. That you should be original. The original, because as your master was original. So what the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna did, not that he criticized the old processes, but what he did, he developed his own method. There's sometimes some people, they say you have to get up early morning to practice meditation, but some people cannot. Maybe they are studying for the dead night and all that. So get up little late, no problem. Then again, that time you meditate, develop a time for yourself and meditate. And this way, suppose you are traveling by bus from your house to reach the office, it's 1 hour or 2 hours journey, maybe by train, by bus, and every day you go and sit in a seat and then close your eyes as if you are taking nap, but go on meditating over there. So that is your way of developing and understanding. But one thing you must know, whatever happens, how I will understand I am developing in spiritually. You will feel love for everyone, and hating others, criticizing others, that will go away. It will reduce a lot. And unselfishness will grow within you. The unselfishness and love, these are the two qualities that shows that I am proceeding, developing in spiritual life. Whether I see the divine light or not, whether I can hear the distant sound or not, whether I can walk in air or not, it doesn't matter. But whether I am unselfish and I can love others, even those who are criticizing me, I can feel for them. That is the sign of spirituality. Lord Jesus, he said once, love thy neighbor as thyself. Then afterwards, when he is teaching to his mature disciples, those who were following him for a long period of time, he said, anyone can love the neighbors. But I say unto you, love thy oppressors, love thy enemies. Because you see God everywhere. How can you criticize? That is the development of spirituality. Thank you. So thank you, friends. So thank you for asking these wonderful questions. So let us chant this mantra and we conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.